What's up, everybody? My name's Kitty, and with me is
Kelly.
2 second delay, guys. She's not slow, well, she is a little, but anyway, this is our yet to be named podcast episode 1. We haven't come up with a name. We tried.
Yeah, we're really just amazing people. We want to do a podcast, and no one
What's
else would start a podcast without having a name. But we're like, it'll wait.
Yeah, we've been trying for several months, but not being very creative types. We did come up with some. Kelly's YouTube viewers came up with the idea of Grab 'em by the podcast, but then Trump won the election, so it kind of didn't become funny anymore.
Yeah, it wasn't funny anymore, like at all. So
It
nope,
became
can't
really
do that.
real. But
Too real.
yeah, so anyway, for those of you who don't know, my name's Kitty. On YouTube, I'm Paintball Kitty. I'm kind of a has-been YouTuber that doesn't really do any videos anymore because I got lost down the Etsy rabbit hole. What about you, Kelly?
Yeah,
Do
and
you want to introduce yourself?
I will. I am also a YouTuber. I still do YouTube, but I also do some work in the gaming industry, usually revolving around social media or marketing. And I don't know, I just kind of do my own thing. I don't know, just
She
peace
just
and love
wings
in
it.
life.
She's
Yes, I just wing it and I love everyone and everything.
That's
But
creepy.
yeah, my viewers are really weird. I have to have a lot of love in my life because they make me torture Sims for my YouTube channel.
Yeah,
So I have
yeah.
a lot of just issues from that.
But if you are looking for a PC podcast, this is not it. If you get offended by the word fuck, this is not it either. Like I said, we've been trying to do a podcast for a few months, but the name was holding us back. And we were like, fuck it. Let's just do it after the election. And if we have no name, we have no name. So if you have a wonderful podcast name suggestion, leave it in the comments below if you're watching on YouTube, or tweet at us and we'll put all the details in somewhere at the end. But Kelly,
I have a tip. Well,
go
yeah,
on.
I have a tip because we already asked my viewers for suggestions on my live stream, and you guys came up with, well, the Grab 'em by the podcast name was good, right? Like we said that until Trump won. But the other suggestions were kind of like Daddy's Little Cum Sluts.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
that's not going to work. We can't name our podcast that. We're not doing that. So
We need
but
to
just
be
try.
a tiny bit advertiser friendly for when we're bajillionaires, right?
Yeah, I mean the name needs to be advertiser friendly. We can be crazy,
We
but
won't
like
be
the name, they're
advertiser
definitely
friendly.
yeah, the advertisers are at least gonna look at our name, and if they see Daddy's Little Cum Sluts, I mean, we're really can only advertise a few things, and I'm pretty sure we can't advertise those things on YouTube, so it would just never work.
Yeah. So, election. Wow. For those of you who don't know and you hear my accent, while I am a Brit, I have lived in the US for some 10 years now. So this affects me, guys. we have we have an oversized Oompa Loompa. Mind you, neither was
Yeah.
much better or worse than the other, to be honest.
What a horrible election. I mean, most people, if you talk to most people, the main idea was like, oh, fuck, I don't like either of these people.
That's it. They were
That's
both
bad.
horrific. I mean, the good news is if you're in the therapy or psychology business, I mean, business has got to be booming for you because everyone's just worn down and stressed out after the election cycle.
And there's just fear mongering like everywhere.
Yeah, the news, I still just watch the BBC. How very British of me, but because I can't tolerate either CNN or Fox News. Politically, I'm somewhere in the middle. I don't care what you do as long as it doesn't affect me. But at the same time, a lot of people say, oh, that's libertarian. But at the same time, I think there needs to be social safety nets for people. So, not really.
Yeah, absolutely. Going back to media, CNN, and God, I'm pretty sure this happened. Today, apparently, they were talking about just Trump and his treatment of the media lately, not really telling them what he's doing. But they played a clip of the attempted assassination on Reagan, which is really fucking strange. It had no, like, they weren't talking about that. They were talking about Trump and the media. I thought it was very strange. Like, the news has been, all news stations lately, yeah, have been really weird. Like, just twisting context, like every single major news station,
the problem
really,
is
to fit their narrative, and that makes, well, yeah.
Yeah, no, sorry, I'm just butting in here because I'm rude. But it will take us a bit to get our pacing, but for now I'm just going to bulldoze through.
The delay is a bitch, you guys.
Yeah. We have a 2-second delay. We timed it, we know it's 2 seconds, so we're going to interrupt each other occasionally without knowing. Sometimes we'll know, but whatever. But the real issue right now is the fake news, right? Because some of the fake news is being picked up by the mainstream news.
And I wanted to talk about this because it's really, I mean, go on Twitter, go on Facebook. You see all sorts of really crazy news stories, and once you research them further, they're either just completely false or just a context changed to fit a different narrative. People believe it. We want to think people aren't really stupid, but a lot of people are like just don't understand that you can't believe every single thing you read without doing proper research.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you're passionate about a side, and one thing this kind of fear-mongering did do is it brought out passion in people and their beliefs. Beliefs? Is that like a Justin Bieber? Beliefs. So when you want to believe something, you want that to be true. Thus, if it fits your narrative, there's no reason to question it. It's only when it's a view that is opposing to yours that you would question it. And that's a problem, is that when there's kind of news that caters to your beliefs and your passion, you don't have reason to check it because you're like, oh, of course that's right.
And I think
of course Hillary's
online
going
as well
to abort babies a day before their due date. That's totally normal, right?
Nah, she's a witch who kills them herself.
Oh,
and
yeah,
sacrifices
sorry.
them to Moloch.
Yeah.
Come on, get it right. No, but that's the thing online too. The echo chambers where people believe a certain side so strongly they never really look at the other side, and they're unwilling to look at the other side's opinions or ideas, and they just surround themselves with media that fits only their views, or like say a subreddit that only fits their particular views and just blocks everything else out.
Yeah, and I think that's the problem, is especially on social media, a lot of people just don't converse anymore. Like, I don't know, where I grew up in England, we had like debate societies and stuff where we were encouraged to challenge our views and go against people with opposing views and stuff. Whereas if over here, that doesn't tend to happen beyond screaming obscenities at people, which can be fun, if I'm honest. But, it really doesn't do much. I mean, I wonder if there was like, if Facebook could publish data on the average rate of unfriending people, like before the election cycle, during it, and after the election. I think that would be incredibly funny data.
Oh, that would be hilarious.
Because
I bet there would be a lot. It would pick up a lot.
Because like I have people on my Facebook that are completely hippie-loving liberals, and then I have people that are gun-toting, hunting rednecks. And I don't care if, whatever they do doesn't affect me. But I've seen like both, because of that, my Facebook feed was like an equal, Hillary's going to rip babies out of women, and like, and then like Trump's doing this, and, he's gonna make all women rape victims have their babies, and all of this stuff. So I saw kind of both sides of it, which I think is pretty rare, because I know most people tend to stick to their circle, but, through traveling, when I was a paintballer, I got to meet people from all over the world of all different beliefs. So yeah, my newsfeed it was very strange. I'm quite thankful it's over now.
Yeah, I mean, I felt that way on Twitter with just following a bunch of different YouTubers from all over the world, and different gaming developers, all of that, people who give their opinions on their personal accounts. And Yeah, it's just a big, big difference. But some people don't have that sort of variety. They only follow people in like a tighter knit circle and maybe follow, a certain news station where they're just getting the same information, just pounded into them, no matter if it's accurate or not.
I
And
don't
because they want to
think.
believe, like, with the Hillary like ripping babies, like some people I think genuinely believe she's a psycho lizard person. There's those people out there. That's the
Well,
extreme
she
version,
kind
but
of
like,
is. But
yeah, I mean,
what surprises
I wouldn't
me,
be surprised.
what surprises me is so much passion over two terrible candidates.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
that's
I
so
wanted
true.
to like Jill Stein. I wanted to like Gary Johnson. I wanted to like these other candidates, but even the third party ones, I'm sorry guys, you can hate me all you want, but they were all batshit crazy. I mean, you have to be to go into politics. But like oh my God, I love what Jill Stein stands for. I think we really do need to worry about our environment. I love the fact that Hillary and Bernie wanted more stability for people who needed a bit more of a safety net, be it, a disabled person or someone really struggling or someone who didn't get the right education. But I love the way that Trump is kind of leaving you to your own stuff, you know? But no, I like the way Gary Johnson wanted to reduce the government. He wanted to reduce it far too much, like it wouldn't have been safe. He was like, yeah, we don't need an education, that should be up to the schools.
Oh,
But
yes, we do. We need
we
education
do.
more than ever if
Yeah,
we've learned anything in this election.
you need reform to the healthcare system. You need reform to the education system. You need reform to the jail system. You need reform to the drug policies. Um, and then you're pretty much, obviously some economic rubbish as well. But most of that would be fixed if you made that devil's lettuce legal everywhere. But yeah, there wasn't a candidate that represented my views, and I don't think there was a candidate that clear cut represented anyone's views. We all
Every
love,
night I cry in my closet with a cutout of Bernie Sanders.
yeah, right. We all loved Bernie's idea, but I'm not.
I really liked how genuine he seemed. I
Yeah,
think that
that
was
was
the
it.
biggest thing for me.
His policies were shit. Well, I mean, the college thing and stuff like that, I think was great, but he didn't seem to have any economic policies to back it up. I could just see us going into a massive debt, but you know, I don't know. We just got stuck with a real bunch of turds.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting 4 years. I think we can definitely say that no matter
If
what.
someone could just gag Trump, his policies aren't too bad, apart from the whole Planned Parenthood thing.
Whoa, 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 whoa. He's keeping his Twitter. Back off. Oh,
He's
God.
not, is he?
He's
I
gonna be
thought
on Twitter shit posting this entire 4 years. We all know it.
he's gonna have some top security military meeting and it's just gonna be like on Twitter, General so and so says he wants to nuke X, Y, and Z, and
Guess
I
what?
told him
Aliens
go
are
ahead.
real.
Oh yeah, he's gonna give out all the secrets to Area 51, everything. He said at one point, I believe, that he wanted to make all drugs legal, but now I don't think he's going to be changing the drug policy at all, which
Yeah, I
is
think his more
weird.
recent view was leave it up to the states.
Yeah, but now like over half the US has medical. I think it's 28 states. And is it how many now have rec? 5?
I want
We
to
had
say
this written down
6.
somewhere.
Yeah, I have it written down.
Where
Where
is
did it
it?
go? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Yes.
7. If we count Washington D.C., 8, and Alaska 9. That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot. Colorado, Oregon, Washington D.C., California, Alaska. Wow. Yeah, I mean, something needs to change because the DEA still have the power to raid those places. They still can't use a banking system.
I know, and what really bothers me is most really this summer they were going over whether they should change it from Schedule 1, and Schedule 1 means the drug has no medical uses. That's not true with marijuana. It's obviously half the states about half the states have medical marijuana. There are medical uses, and pretend we still want to say there aren't. I just wish they would make it scheduled too in their little world so that we could research the medical solutions.
Here's my thing. If it had no medical uses, let's ignore all the seizure cures and all of that. Marinol.
Yeah, all those kids suffering.
Marinol is prescribed to cancer patients quite often to fight nausea. It's synthetic THC. All right, so if it has no medical uses, why did the pharmaceutical industry have to replicate it? And then in the rest of the world, apart from the US, there's a drug called Sativex, which is prescribed for Parkinson's patients or people with speech spasticity with cerebral palsy. It's given to MS patients, as well as epileptics to help stop seizures and spasms. And that's pretty much available anywhere in the world, apart from here.
Yeah, I think that maybe you'll recall this. I'm pretty sure the U.S. government actually has a patent, a medical patent.
Yeah.
I think for THC. It's something like that.
It
They have
be
like a
grown
medical.
by.
Like, how is it not? What the? No medical uses. Fuck off.
MAPS is really pushing it. MAPS is, I'm going to have to look this up. Give me 1 second. So there's an organization called MAPS, and they are working to get better research into cannabis and mushrooms and everything else that, has potential to cure. Like, we've all heard that, mushrooms and things like that have been used to help veterans with PTSD and things like that. So they seem to be really kind of funding the fight. Multidisciplinary Association for Psychedelic Studies. My bad. They're looking into MDMA, cannabis, and other things like that. But, psilocybin from mushrooms has been used to treat PTSD, mega stress, and things like that. So yeah, if you're looking for some information, go to MAPS. But they seem to be the ones that are really fighting to lift the barrier on research, and they seem to be leading the way in it, like actually getting somewhere rather than just talking about it. MAPS and normal.
Regarding PTSD, which they're researching for, mushrooms and stuff, and LSD, that's a big issue right now with vets. It's been a huge issue. I mean, we should be researching that and seeing if we can help these people.
Yeah, and it's so much cheaper. Like, let's be real.
That's why they don't want it.
A couple of grams of weed.
Pharmaceutical companies, nah.
Well, I mean, that's probably a very big reason. I mean, think of all the people who would stop taking their opioids if they were allowed to use cannabis. That's a multi-billion-dollar industry. We need a fact checker. If you want to be a fact checker, comment in here. We need someone on the Google where we do this. But I'm pretty sure that opioids and stuff, I think that's like a multi-billion-dollar a year industry. And you think of all the drugs that cancer patients are on to keep their appetite up while they're going through chemotherapy, paying hundreds of dollars for these tablets when they could just be paying, $10 for a joint. Could grow their own in some states. I want to move. Obviously, it was just Colorado when I was deciding, but I want to move to Colorado because, CBD oil is great. I have rheumatoid arthritis, for those of you who don't know. CBD oil is great when it's from hemp, but it's better when it has like a couple of % of THC in it. Not enough to get me high because I'm weird. Like, I'm the stoner who hates getting high. Also hate the taste of weed. So, so I was looking to move to Colorado so I don't have to take pain meds, which knocked me the hell out. Obviously now we have more of a choice of states, but looking at the list, none of them really appeal to me. So it's probably still going to be Colorado eventually. But the damage to the medical industry that the legal cannabis would do would be just amazing.
And that's why there's so many like pharmaceutical companies, alcohol companies, police groups funding, lobbying to keep it illegal.
Well, yes, but there's a group, I think they're called LEAF. They're a group of cops that are trying to make it legal. They're for ending the drug war.
Good for them.
Now, here's something that Trump could help in relation to the drug war. He is saying that he wants to put a 5-year limit on Congress I believe it's 5 years. Again, we need a fact checker, so please Google to make sure. But I think it's 5 years for Congress, and he wants to put a timeout period on whether you come from an industry to lobbying for that industry. So
I
if
think he
you
also
work,
wanted to do that with people working for him. He wants to make sure they can't lobby for, I think, 5 years also.
yeah, and I think that's great because it stops people coming from pharmaceuticals and then lobbying against cannabis or, you know, the tobacco restrictions or whatever the hell. But, you know, it's a complete joke. College Humor just did a really funny video on why marijuana is still illegal. Have you seen it?
I haven't.
It's pretty good. I saw it this morning on Facebook. You know, that's where we get all our news from these days, don't you know? I don't really. I get it from the BBC.
Our
app.
fake news.
Yeah, fake news is the best news. But
It's the most fun news. Actually, though, fake news.
I think
It's kind of fun to read because it's so crazy sometimes.
I feel like the news post-election was more aggressive when Obama won than it is post-election now. Because, I mean, I remember stuff going around like Obama is going to sterilize your children through the water supply, and Obama's going to take away your guns so people can come and rape your women. You know, Obama.
He's going to make us all Muslim and Sharia law.
Yeah, I feel like it was more violent then in text form on the internet than it is now. I certainly think it's more passionate now, but I don't think it's as hardcore as it was when Obama got in. Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know. If you look around, you can find some pretty
You can find
horrific,
some pretty
scary
shady
things.
stuff.
Yeah. I mean, just on social media, I'll be looking around Twitter, and you can find so many examples. Someone will have tweeted a picture of someone who's beaten up and just seriously injured, and they'll say, "Look what happened to a Trump supporter or a Hillary Clinton supporter because, you know, Trump supporters attacked them or Hillary Clinton's protesters attacked them." And then you reverse image search the picture and it's from like some old thing. They're just completely making it up, but it will be viral. It'll have just millions of views.
You know, the internet's become quick access to anything, right? YouTube videos, 5 minutes. No one wants to put the effort in on YouTube on social media. So I think it's so
and I think
easy
some
for these
people
to
just
clickbait.
don't know to do that extra research or know really how to
Or
do those
could be
things, especially
bothered.
older people who don't know how to use the internet.
Yeah, or could probably be bothered, even if they did. I'm sure half the people clicking that know how to reverse image search, but why should they if they're passionate about that side?
Yeah, and they're following that person because, you know, they're like, oh, this social media account loves Trump, and they're always telling us the truth about Hillary. And you'll see a lot of like people saying, this is the truth, these are the facts, like to just really make people believe that when, you know, sometimes it's not. And those people become so trusting of certain individuals that, you know, they don't need to fact check it because that person already did for them.
Yeah, it just embellishes their views. It makes them feel more secure in their opinions. You know, regardless of who you voted for, whether it be Trump or Hillary, you're probably pretty passionate about it. You know, I'm not a citizen, I'm a green card holder. I chose to hold off on the citizenship while this clusterfuck passed. You know, and at the beginning of the election cycle, I was like, Trump is just a hate monger. He's just horrible. Like nothing Hillary could do could be worse than this. And then when the policies started being released and things like that, I was like, if I just look at these policies, it's a coin toss. Right? You know.
Well, I mean, I liked Hillary's plan to, and this is one of the things that really scares me about Donald Trump is she wanted, instead of going to old energy jobs like coal, she wanted to like, and who knows, it could have just been her talking, politicians, you never know. But I liked her plan that she wanted to move these people onto new resources, you know,
absolutely.
solar, whatever.
He scares the shit out of
I
you.
liked that. yeah, like the China made up global warming. Like, come on. Like, we can't just ignore science. It's weird.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing,
It scares
Trump
me that
says
people choose to ignore those sorts of things.
Trump's tax plan's pretty interesting. He was like, I'm going to save everyone some money. Don't you worry. I've got you covered. Actually, what he meant was he's going to reduce everyone's taxes except the poorest. In fact, the poorest will pay like maybe 2% more.
Yeah, I was looking at that today too.
Screw you, poor people.
There were like a few groups, and it was like it was the lowest, like 10,000 or something
I think I'll
income,
save
where
like,
they're paying a little more.
yeah, I think I'd save like 3%. Really not enough to give a crap about.
There was one good thing though, the child care. I think you got money for childcare. God, we need the fact checker on this one.
We really do need
But
a
you
fact check. we need a cheers. We need a cheers. If you are a cheers, if you know what that is. So if you can tolerate swearing and you have a great voice and a good microphone, let us know. We'll pay you in nothing.
Yes. And dead babies.
Well, yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
But
start the conspiracy theories early about us.
yeah, my biggest concerns with Trump are A, the energy, B, his hatred of the press. I worry about freedom of the press.
Oh yeah.
Apart, ignoring the racist, bigoted bullshit that he's been spewing, his Planned Parenthood defunding, that horrifies me because now me personally, you don't have to discuss it, Kelly. I don't think I could handle having an abortion. Having said that, I can't have kids. I don't want to pass on my genes. I've got lots of funky stuff wrong with me, but just because I couldn't see myself having an abortion doesn't mean I should tell you can't have an abortion. I don't know your story, and it's a tough one, abortion, isn't it? Because we all have such strong opinions. Whether it's a life, whether it's a ball of tissue or whatever. And I admit, like like the 24-week abortions, they make me squint a little, they make me uncomfortable, but I know if that baby's viable, it's born. It's not ever ripped out of a mother's stomach 9 months in.
Oh my God.
But I think it's personal choice. I don't think I have the right to tell you what you can do with your body.
I don't know what I would do in that situation. I really have no idea. And I want people to have that choice because some people just can't, they might be at a point in their life where they cannot handle a child or afford that child, and that.
Or they could have been raped and been pregnant, or they could have a genetic illness and not want the kid to be born sick, because every day you look at that child, you're going to blame yourself. It could be financial, it could be environmental, it could be so many reasons. But one thing I never hear is women going, oh my God, I'm so glad. God, I had that abortion this morning. Best decision ever.
It's a very difficult thing for people. It's not an easy decision.
Like the way they talk about it, it's like women are like, oh, don't worry, you just come right up in my vagina, or I'll go get an abortion in a few weeks.
Another Sunday, another abortion. Come on, like every week.
That's not how it works. It's painful, I imagine, emotionally, more than physically, and obviously physically. It's pretty damn horrific.
That's pretty fucking insulting, too, to just assume a lot of women feel that way.
You slut. You hussy.
Yeah, like, oh God, there's still, like, that bullshit.
Oh, I don't know. It's, the government over here, and it's not just over here, don't think I'm criticizing the American government, but I kind of am. It's so strange how it's got a fucked up healthcare system, fucked up educational system, fucked up prison system, but it wants to stretch out more and control more. It wants to control your body, your beliefs and everything, but it hasn't got the basics right yet. Oh, it drives me mad, especially the prison thing. I mean, so many people are just locked up for non-violent bullshit. Oh, you had a joint in your pocket?
Yeah, and it's
yeah, okay, you're arrested. Oh, you can't afford bail? That's fine. You sit in jail, lose your job, lose your wife, lose your kids. We'll hold you here for about 6 months.
And if it's your third time, it's your third time with a joint in your pocket. Get ready to spend life in prison.
There's people like doing life without parole. for weed.
Yeah, there is for nonviolent crimes, and it's ridiculous. Like, in this day and age, no, just fucking stop.
Yeah.
Enough's enough. It's been a huge waste of money. The war on drugs, huge failure. We need to let it go.
I don't know what they're going to do. So it's going to be interesting to see how Trump fares. He's certainly got a lot of work ahead of him. He's got to make us realize that he's not a spoiled brat, oversized Oompa Loompa with no patience or intellect running the country. I really do hope he does. I really do hope he does a good job because England's pretty cold, damp, and rainy, and I really don't want to have to go back.
Yeah, I mean, I hope he does do a good job. I'm scared though.
In the meantime, if you're a tall, dark, handsome, rich Canadian, hit me up. Hey, they've got health.
Dude, Canada is so fucking cool.
Yeah, I know, except the whole it's cold as hell and snowy.
Yeah.
I know Colorado is, but it's dry. I guess like the west side of Canada would be fine. But they've got healthcare. I don't get I don't get how healthcare over here is so messed up. It's so messed up.
Yeah, it's a mess.
The healthcare over
it's
here
so
is more expensive.
Everything's expensive.
So expensive. I talk about this all the time. I'm like, Ventolin inhaler, right? Everyone knows what that is, the blue asthma inhaler. You know what that is, Kelly?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of, okay, it's the one that asthmatics carry in their pocket. In England, if you, as Kelly American, were going to England and buying a Ventolin inhaler, it would cost you about $30 maximum, maybe 20. You'd get 2. If you were to come over here with no insurance and buy it, it's $96 for one. Same bloody inhaler.
There's like
and
that picture
one.
Too that goes around. Yeah, there's a lot of things like that, but there's this picture that goes around. It's a hospital bill for when a baby was born, and they charged the dad to like. Isn't it that they charged the dad to like hug the baby or something?
It was the mum. It was skin to skin
physical contact.
Yeah, $295 for 30 mens or something.
That's so. What the fuck is that?
Apparently, there's a reason for that. So when someone gives birth, they have to chart the timing of everything, right? And it gets broken down by the hour of the cost of being in the birthing suite. So they have to account for every like 15 minutes in the birthing suite with what they're doing. So, the first hour maybe legs spread, pushing, screaming. The next bit, whatever. So it
That's why your bill says that.
That would be hilarious, right?
$500.
So she wasn't technically billed for skin-to-skin contact. She was billed for that time, but they have to note the activity going on during that time.
Damn, they need to call it something else so it
ridiculous.
Doesn't sound that crazy.
$150 for a frickin' Tylenol or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, God.
I dread going to the ER over here. It's like as soon as I open that door, I'm like, well, there goes $800.
There's a lot of people where they're just like, do I really need to get help this time? Maybe it'll go away. And then, they don't get help. They don't, that's bad.
Someone that used to work with me, she kept getting pains in her chest and she just ignored it. She had no health insurance. She can't afford it. Obamacare would have been like $600 a month. And she's like, well, I earn $400 a month. What the fuck am I going to do? About 2 months ago, she got rushed in with a heart attack. She had to have open heart surgery because she'd just let it get so bad because she couldn't afford it. Now she's probably going to be in debt for the rest of her life. It's like, congratulations, you're ill, we fixed you, but now you're going to get ill again from stress.
Oh, what a mess. We need a positive topic.
Well, why not? Why can't we just let people go away depressed, crying in their car, on the sofas, in the bed, wherever they are listening to us? Now it's time for an ad read.
Our podcast name would be We Make You Cry.
Yeah. This podcast is brought to you by Kleenex and Prozac.
Oh, man. Those would be pretty sweet sponsors, though.
Yeah, right? Some big money there. Oh, we need a chocolate
They give us free pills, too.
Yeah. Some Valium and... Oh, Valium laced Cadbury's Dairy Milk. There we go. You've got cannabis edibles. We've got Valium.
Well, both will make you happy.
The reason we started this Yeah. We started this podcast because we'd have just these really messed up phone calls and we'd just talk about random shit. Sometimes it went dirty, sometimes it was very grown up and adulty. But we were like, we really need to make a podcast of this shit because sometimes we're kind of funny, sometimes we're not, sometimes we're serious. But that's what this is supposed to be. We'll cover regular topics and all of that shenanigans as you would expect. But as this podcast goes along, please think of a name. Because we can't
and
not have a name.
Yeah, and I mean we've tried. We've come up with some ideas like what just happened.
Coffee, please. More coffee, please. Kitty and Kelly just sounded like Keenan and Kel or whatever it is. So
and then I don't want people shortening it to KK and then for a joke adding an extra K.
Yeah. Because if we ever have guests on, we're going to be like, the KKK or some shit. So I don't know. Like, we're horrible people, disgusting, immoral, grotesque women. I mean, Katie, Katie, one of my friends.
God damn! See, everyone fucking does that to me.
Here's why I said that because my roommates are, my friend Katie and Kyle. So we're like the KKK, which is why I was like, this is what happens when 3Ks get together.
There's a lot of K names too, so yeah, we don't want that.
Yeah, we don't want that. But we need a name. We can't just be the blubbering people. We did what was it? Ladies Who something. Crap. Kelly.
Oh.
We will get our pacing and our shit organized eventually.
Wait, you need to tell them about
much a chat about nothing.
Yeah, that one's good. You need to tell them about the holiday gift idea we have. Because we have different ideas for the podcast. We'll do different sorts of episodes, but tell them. Hit them with the info.
All right. So already everyone is like rolling out their gift guides. There's all pretty shit, pink, purple, sparkly bullshit. So I came up with this idea about 3 a.m. and texted Kelly about it. Not at 3 a.m. because she was probably sleeping. But we wanted to do like a weird, creepy alternative gift guide. Now, the way this is going to work is that, are we restricting it to Etsy? I know my purchases were all off Etsy.
I had a few on Etsy. I had a few that weren't, but
all right, we don't have to restrict
full
it to
on
Etsy.
bought yet, so I could just restrict it.
It doesn't matter. Anyway, we have $35, excluding the cost of shipping, to buy some kind of fucked up gifts. No sex toys allowed, because that was like an easy thing. So we're going to, in a few weeks, it'll probably take a week for stuff to arrive to us and then a week to ship it to each other. So it won't be at least for another 2 weeks. So we're going to do an on-cam version of this podcast, and it's going to be like a fucked up gift guide for you fucked up people.
And we're going to unbox.
So we're going to unbox live on camera. Now, Kelly doesn't know what I've bought her. I think I've won. If this was a competition, I'm just going to put that out there. I think I've won. It's not a competition, but, I think I've won.
Can you give me a clue?
One of them made me retch. Just looking at the photos.
Wait, but what if because my things are pretty gross too. What if we buy the same things?
Then we have great taste in vulgar gifts.
That would be, I'll die if that happens. I don't think it'll happen because
I don't know if it will happen. Because one of them, they had really bad search words, and I kind of just stumbled across it by mistake. The one that made me retch was pretty hard to find. Yeah, there's one gift on there that I think, it's nothing that I've shown you a picture of, but I think there's one gift on there that me and you may think the same about, so we may both get it.
Oh my god. I'm so excited about this.
So yeah, it's going to be at least 2 weeks by the time we get the stuff from Etsy, because it's all handmade, and then get it to each other. But it's going to be an on-cam unboxing of just gross gifts off Etsy or wherever the hell Kelly buys it from. All mine are from Etsy because I live on Etsy.
Are you doing anything like edible? Or it's just an item?
I didn't do edible. I got edibles in my shortlist, but I didn't include anything edible. But you can if you want. Please don't get me a big penis lollipop.
I was I was scared to do it because I don't know. You have some allergies, and I didn't want to like. Oh God, I don't want to kill Kitty. I don't want to kill Kitty on the show.
But like,
Merry Christmas, cunt. No, that would be sick as fuck.
Live on the show, Kitty's death.
Now I don't need a podcast name, bitch.
But yeah, no, I'm pretty excited about this. One of the gifts made me retch a little just looking at the picture. So I'm
I had
excited.
one that was a really gross picture, like nasty.
I want to tell you, it is so hard for me to not say what it was.
I know.
We can't.
Me
We have to keep it stum until
Sing
we
it in my
open
head.
this. Yeah, me too. And I'm trying to hold back the gag reflex.
I'm just smiling really big. I like looking at it.
What was funny, there's one thing I bought was particularly obscene. And, you know, I messaged her to say, because the problem with the Etsy stores, a lot of them are very small. And I didn't want to mention the shop. You know, maybe she'll get a few sales, like 3 or 5 sales or something from the 2 people that watch it.
Oh, I have some really sick fucks who watch me, so...
That's the problem, right? So I was like, can you, if you don't want me to mention you, if you don't think you can't handle making another 5 of these, I mean, it could be 10, who knows? We won't mention you. She responded with, oh, I've been making these for fun forever. My boyfriend loves it, so I make lots of things in this nature. I'm trying not to say what it is. But she went into this whole big story about how she's passionate about making this grossness.
Oh, I like that. I like people passionate about what they do.
She embraced her vulgar side, and I was pretty impressed with that.
Yeah, well, I think for my viewers, we got a lot of dirty girls, so who knows?
Dirty Girls would be an okay name for a podcast.
It's probably already a name, but I like it.
Yeah, it probably was. You dirty girl. Would that work?
Oh, we could have such a cool intro song too.
We're not going to go cheesy.
Like porn,
are we ever going to get professional with this though? Or are we just going to talk about it for years to come? Is it going to be like dirty girls, la 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 la? Or is it going to be creepy like dirty girls?
Oh, we should have different versions. There could be a Christmas special, Dirty Girls. The Halloween version, which is a creepy one. Yeah.
I love how we go from super serious talks about politics, world domination, and drugs to dirty girls. Da, da, da.
God.
And Christmas presents. But I'm kind of excited for the alternate gift guide, but I'm also horrified because I know how you think. And that, we had already discussed, what if we get the same thing? I think there's only one gift I'm concerned about it being the same. One, I think.
Oh my God.
Maybe.
I feel like we're going to give each other the same gift, but then I don't know.
Who knows? We'll know in a couple of weeks.
It's a lot of pressure.
I ordered my stuff last night.
Yeah, I'm going to order mine tomorrow. I'm going to or maybe tonight.
One made me retch.
I have a bunch of different things, though.
One, I couldn't believe it was a thing. One just made me giggle, and it was just kind of funny, but somewhat gross, but kind of badly executed, but it was still funny. And then a couple of other things you just grossed me out. There's 2 winners in there.
Yeah, I had a lot of creepy ones that were just scary and creepy. But then, there was a few gross ones, and then I don't think I had anything funny. I wanted to look for some little funny things.
I got you nothing funny. I just got you horrific things.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm looking at my buying now. There's 2 things that I can't believe are a thing. One's kind of funny, and I think you'll keep it. But it's funny in a kind of disturbing manner.
Mm.
And one just made me retch. I just scrolled on my buying history to see what I got you, and I almost retched again.
I think you've said the word wretched 50 times.
Wretchcast. What a name.
Yes. Oh, that would be so gross. And the logo's just like puke.
Oh no! A rainbow shower.
What if that is? There's probably a kink podcast where you could just
Talk
like,
about
as you're
rainbow
talking
showers,
about
yeah.
no, you're talking about the topics, but you also puke while you're doing it, like just
Oh,
projectile
Didn't
puke.
like
You know, someone would pay good money for that.
didn't Howard Stern do something like that at some point?
Oh, he's done a bunch of weird
Yeah, he's
things. So
probably
yeah,
done it.
probably.
I'm pretty sure Kyle was talking about an episode where like someone was just puking on one of the whatever their pack is called, the group of people that are on it. But yeah, that's horrendous. And the problem is like the sympathy vomit. Do you get that? If someone like pukes
Wait.
near you, you start to. I can't think
Oh,
of another word.
yeah.
Do you start to reg?
Like, have you seen Stand By Me?
Yeah.
The movie?
I think. Maybe.
Well, there's this big fat character called Lardass. And he wants to get revenge on his town, so he joins the pie eating contest in the small town is like a big deal. And so he I think he swallows a bunch of oil or something else, something to
Ugh.
make him puke before he does the pie eating contest, and then he just pukes on everyone, and then the story is everyone starts puking on each other, and then just the
Oh,
smell of
no.
it hits the audience, and then all the audience is puking. It's like it's just a gross scene
I
in
don't
a
think
movie.
I've seen it. I'm terrible at movie names, so whenever someone says, "Have you seen this?" I'm like, "Probably," but I'm really bad. But I don't recognize that, and I know if I had seen it, I would have spent it in the bathroom because I'm the worst. I went
Yeah,
to an
it's
all-girls boarding school, so when one person got sick, it was awful because you could hear it, and you're like, sorry to the 5 viewers that I just made reg, but you get it. It's pretty crazy.
Sorry, I do that all the time in my videos, and I do feel I feel a little bad about it because yeah, it grosses. But sometimes I'm really gagging though. The games my viewers want me to play, like some are very disgusting and disturbing. So I have a little.
Whenever I want
I
to
gag sometimes.
Whenever I want to feel like a normal person, I come and watch one of your live streams.
Yeah.
Because your viewers are hilarious and worrying at the same time.
Yeah, my live stream viewers, I mean, I'd say they're 50% dirty girls, 50% gay boys, and like they combine forces to just say the most vulgar things ever. Like
It's
the one
most
thing that just
entertaining
sticks
thing.
in my mind that has just freaked me out. Like I'm just playing this game, having a great time. I look at my chat, and this person that said, they just keep sticking in my mind what they said. It was, "Please fuck me in my cut puss, daddy." And like that is what my what? Why would you say that in a public setting? What are you guys doing? What's wrong with you? Why do I attract these sort of people?
I think it's great.
What have I done to deserve this besides torture Sims?
I love it. I think your audience is the best audience, personally.
Yeah, I do too. I do really like them. They're funny. They're a little gross and crazy, but they're funny, and they're not like assholes. A lot of YouTubers have asshole fans, and mine are
Yeah.
nice. They're just, they're crazy.
Yeah, I have good viewers. Even when I upload once a year, they're like, "Oh, glad to see you back. Looking forward to next year's video." Because they know what I'm like. I tried to come back recently and was doing so well. I got like 4 videos into my regular whatever, and then I just had this massive flare up of arthritis, and it's still not completely gone. And we're like probably 3 or 4 months in, longest flare up I've ever had.
Damn.
But so
That
I couldn't
sucks.
continue it. But I know that when I upload, admitting that I am the worst YouTuber ever, they'll be fine. To the 3 people.
Yeah,
that
I've
are
been
still
bad with
subscribed.
uploading too. If you're
You
my viewer, I'm
shouldn't.
sorry. I need. What?
You shouldn't be bad at uploading because you have like a big subscriber number.
Oh, Google reached out to me today,
Ooh, what did it?
but I'm not going
Are
to
you
talk
allowed
about
to discuss it?
Oh
No,
my
you're
God.
not.
Yeah,
You're
I
gonna
will.
have to.
Actually, I will. No, I do a lot of mobile gaming content, and not a lot of gaming YouTubers do. But there's some of us that do a lot of mobile games, and they wanted to work with me on that front. So that's really cool. I'm going to talk to them, so we'll see.
That's fancy.
Yeah,
I don't know
it's
what that
very
was.
fancy.
But yeah, so We still need a name. We have the gift guide coming up. The world's fucked because of the election. Everyone needs to try cannabis. I don't think we can legally.
Wait, what?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no way. Whoa. Whoa.
If you're overage and in a legal state. How about that?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
I
You're
feel-
21 and in a legal state.
Yeah.
Hey.
I feel like if someone wants to be running this country, they should have to try cannabis and do shrooms.
And we get to watch.
think we would have a better run government.
We can make snacks. Well, no, we couldn't because people would poison them. But
Yeah,
if
exactly.
say everyone was really nice, we you know, you would give your
Psilocybin
offering of
laced
snacks.
crackers
Oh, Jesus Christ.
for the White House. Really? Is that where we're going?
Maybe people will, you know how they like film like whenever they're discussing bills and stuff and people can watch that. They should just make them all do drugs and then people will actually watch and be involved and interested
Yeah.
in those. Well, then our government will be a mess, but
But I
maybe
think
not. Maybe
if
it
they
won't be.
don't do
Depends
it,
on the drug, maybe.
yeah, I think they should have to go away for a week as some kind of hippie. And if they're particularly annoying, they should have to go to Peru and do ayahuasca. Like if they really need a head cleanse. They should be
Oh,
sent to
I
puke and poop in a bucket in Peru.
Speaking of people who need head cleanses, I was thinking about Mike Pence and
Oh God.
I guess 46,000 people donated in his name. I think that's what the number's at right now, to Planned Parenthood.
That's awesome. That's
That's a lot.
freaking
That's really
awesome.
cool to see.
We can't lose that.
That's a good way to
because-
protest too, like support Planned Parenthood.
Yeah. I mean, we need Planned Parenthood. It's more than abortions. You know, sex education in this country is bullshit. In a lot of states, unfortunately, it's often heavily influenced by the church. So much for separation of church and state. So a lot of people grow up learning wrong, basically. Right? I mean,
Yeah, and I mean that there's so much misinformation really spread there that like taxpayer dollars fund abortions when they don't.
it's Planned Parenthood is really important. If anything, it should be expanded. It's not just a line of women waiting to get an abortion. It's way more than that. So I don't know. It's horrifying that could be defunded. But hey, at least the money will go to build a wall that we don't need, right?
Oh my God, that is so stupid. Like, what? We do not need a fucking wall.
There's already like a big wall in some areas. It's more of like a reinforced fence. And there's this woman that lives in the US, but they decided to run the wall through her property. So to get to the other side of her property, which is still in the US, she has to drive 10 minutes because she can't walk across it because there's a wall. So she has to drive 10 minutes to get to a gate, type in a code just to access the other part of her land.
I bet they give her money though.
Not much, and
Well, maybe
she
not.
hates it, so she leaves out like a cooler of water and snacks and stuff to those that are jumping it. So she fills it up every morning, and it's usually gone by night.
Yeah. You know what? I'll think about a wall if it's at least solar power. No, a wall is just a waste of money.
Yeah, they'll get in. Like, if they want to come in, they're gonna come in. Why waste money? Like, put more feet on the ground. Put more officers on the ground if you're really worried. Like, he wants to, increase ICE by however many thousands more officers. Put those people on the border.
Yeah, just no wall.
I'm pretty
I
sure a
don't even know if they're
human
gonna do the wall.
He says he's going to.
No, I think he on 60 Minutes. I think the interview
Some
just
of
did.
it
He said
might
it'll be
be
a fence.
No, he said some of it might be a fence.
Oh yeah, he did say
Some.
some of it might.
Might. He wants a wall that's 10 foot higher because we make the best walls. Very best walls. Everyone says they're the best. Simply the greatest. Right?
Oh gosh,
We have an
just
Oompa
gonna-
Loompa as president. Oh, talking of Oompa Loompas, did you notice they toned down his fake tan towards the end?
Oh, they totally did. Yeah,
I was
like by the
so
second debate,
disappointed.
like, yeah,
He was no longer
it
an
was
Oompa Loompa.
way toned down.
He had become an anemic Oompa Loompa.
Yeah, it was very sad.
I wonder if Milena ever was like, "Sweetie, you are a little too orange tonight." Like, did she ever say? Did he ever
She's a
not
little
look?
orange too sometimes.
Yeah, but it suits her. Like, he's orange, orange. She's like brown, like dark skinned, olive skinned, beautifully brown. He is like, hey, I got attacked by an orange highlighter.
But they usually don't get the orange around his eyes.
No, I know.
And
It's like he wears
it looks
goggles.
so odd.
I wonder if he has an at-home tanning booth and wears those swimming goggles, which would explain the eye.
Yeah, it could
thing.
be that.
And he's airbrushed. Like, maybe Milena does it. Maybe that's one of their fetishes. Hey, Milena.
Oh.
You want to airbrush me? Oh, yeah, Donald. I airbrush you. Maybe
Oh, that's so cute.
that's the thing.
I wrote a funny joke about Milena, just like she just intended on being a gold digger, and now she's like, fuck.
Yeah, now I
have to be
do
first
some
lady.
shit. No, I will miss Michelle. Actually, she does a lot for this country.
I like her.
Doesn't she
Every
have, like,
video I see
2
of her, she's just
doctorates?
happy and smart and
Yeah, and that couple is like, you know, Obama and Michelle are. You can tell they're batshit crazy in love with each other.
I love how you say Obama.
How do you say it?
Obama.
What?
Just say it.
Obama.
Okay, you said it. No, sometimes you get the Obama, just like the way
Obama?
you say it, like
Am I
quickly
calling
with your
him a
accent.
Oh, okay. Basically, your hearing is fucked.
No, it's not. They'll
Uh-huh.
they'll hear it too. You just said it there. You say it sometimes.
Okay, so Obama. Yeah, I wonder. So Obama and Michelle are batshit crazy in love, and I like that. But she's also that mum you don't want to cross. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you don't ever want to be like given a telling off by her. But we've got, you know, she's very educated. I think she has like 2 degrees or a doctorate or something. And Melania.
I'm pretty sure she was like Barack Obama's boss for a
Yeah,
while.
yeah. And then Melania, well, I think there's some nudes of her. But, you know, obviously
The
education
nudes look
doesn't-
good.
Yeah, she looks
She's
hot.
with a woman in one of them.
That's not too bad. I mean, she looks hot, but it does suck that we lose Michelle because, you know, her drive for healthy food and all of that was pretty important, I think. She did a lot of good stuff. I hope Melania can
Yeah,
do
I
that.
liked her.
Yeah. I feel sorry for the kids. I mean, I think he says he's not going to take the salary, right? He's going to take $1 a year
Yeah.
because I think they normally get 400 grand a year for president.
Yes.
And then, like, is it 100 grand for the rest of their life after they get out? I'm not sure.
Something like that.
But yeah, the kids, man, their life is about to be turned upside down. I mean, it already was, but now it's still turned upside down with way more security. And instead of private security, it's Secret Service.
Oh, you know what? I see, like, speaking of his kids, the younger son, Baron,
Yeah.
there's, like, all these videos on YouTube and, like, going around the internet where it's, like, just trying to prove he has, like, autism by, like, showing, like, clips of Trump and his son in the background. It's like, Jesus Christ.
Who gives a shit? What is he, like,
What?
7? 6? Oh, he's a
I think he's,
baby.
like, 10, maybe? I think he's 10.
10.
It's like, come on.
It's a 10-year-old kid.
Like, people are just, like, psycho in this election. They
But even
sometimes
if he was
people
autistic,
go way too far.
Even if he was autistic, what the hell does that say about anyone? Nothing. Like,
I
what?
think they were trying to use it in a political stance where I think Donald Trump had said something about vaccinations causing autism.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a tough one. I don't think it does.
But yeah, I mean, that kid's going to have to deal with so much random crap and
Yeah,
memes.
like Ivanka and that
What a
lot
bunch of memes.
kind of grew up in TV, right? So they're used to it. But the little brat, I mean, he doesn't know what he's getting into. He was too young when all
Yep.
the apprentice shit was going on. And now he's at that age where he's starting to understand. He's going to be flanked by Secret Service, while he's going through his teenage years. I think that kid's got it rough.
Oh, I mean, and recently, one of President Obama's daughters was caught smoking weed at Lollapalooza in Chicago, and
Yeah.
that was going around in like a
Mario.
political context. Yeah.
So what? Again, so what? Does it affect the president?
Yeah, she's a teenager. Come on, who cares?
Yeah.
I mean, in a way, it's like people saying, "Oh, that's hypocritical for Obama to do nothing for marijuana legislation," when I mean, he has done some stuff, but
Well, he did. He told the feds to stop bloody raiding people. I mean, they ignored him, but he told them to.
yeah.
I got a squeaky chair. Sorry.
Didn't
about
they did something with the banks, maybe, but
They
not
tried, but
completely
it
yet. I
failed.
don't know.
So there's a
it did
bank.
fail.
There's a bank. So I don't know. Let's call them Green Cube because I think there's something similar to their name. Maybe there's a bank set up in Colorado, ready to take cannabis money, and has the approval, but it hasn't been given the master number from the people with the money, the Treasury. So it needs a master number to be able to get it, but they're just not giving it to them because they're saying you're going to be laundering illegal money.
Yeah.
But in the meantime,
annoying.
dispensaries are just the amount of money they have to spend on security and storing money is insane.
Oh, I just because Canada's legalizing and they're hoping to have it out, I think, by 2017 spring, maybe, where people can. It was legalized, I think, in Vancouver already. I don't know
Yeah.
too much about
Yeah,
Canada's
it's
scene, but
BC Bud
um,
as well. British Columbia, maybe.
I love it, and I love Canada because there's a few Canadian cannabis companies that are producing it that have run a profit, and there's not many public stocks you can buy where these cannabis companies are making money. A lot of the American ones are really sketchy and just kind of scams, penny stocks, bullshit. But I bought a Canada one because I knew all these states were going to legalize. It seemed to be going that way, and it's up. Well, I sold it already, but got 120% gains.
Ooh.
So that's really big.
Nice.
So yes,
Them games, yo.
them gains.
Them
It felt
gains.
good.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you,
don't know.
Canada.
I think we need a cannabis industry. I think it's an easy way to get cash for a struggling economy. I think the banks should be allowed to take the money. There needs to be some kind of federal override for that, for the safety of cannabis store employers. I think that's really important. They have to feel safe in their workplace. Because whether you're just lighting up to get high, or maybe you're a parent that's had to move to Colorado Springs to just get some Charlotte's Web oil for your epileptic kid, the people that work in these industries have to feel safe. And the shit's got to change. Someone's got to do something. It's ridiculous. I think tobacco kills almost 500,000 Americans a year. Alcohol, I think it's maybe 50,000. It's probably more, right, with hit and runs and stuff.
Oh yeah, probably more than that.
Yeah. So
that
let's
seems
just
low.
take tobacco. 500,000. I think 480,000 people died from tobacco-related illnesses last year. Cannabis, how many people died? Oh, yeah, that's right, none. There's been a couple of fake news stories about things, but nothing's actually been proven that it's caused a single death. And even if there was the odd
and like every
one-
Halloween,
yeah, I mean, there's always
every
fake
single
news.
Halloween,
Oh, the
yeah,
candies.
it's like, oh, kids are getting, they're gonna get marijuana candies, and
Well, I'll tell you what,
kid's gonna die.
that kid is going to sleep real sound.
Oh God.
I'm not recommending giving
Do not give
cannabis
your kids.
to your kids.
Yes.
But pretty much that's probably the worst thing ever. He's going to have some real fucked up dreams, but he's going to sleep good.
I don't think I'll have any dreams. I think you dream less under the influence
Yeah, you
of
sleep harder,
THC.
yeah. I don't really do THC. That's probably why. I hate being high. I can't even handle the painkillers. Like, when I've just had surgery, like, I will only take Tylenol because Tylenol knocks me out. I'm so sensitive to pain meds.
I don't really have too much experience with more hardcore pain medications. But yeah, I just take the
Georgia's
basic shit.
Georgia's really funny because you have to, if you're prescribed opioids, and by the way, like with my condition, they have to sometimes prescribe opioids to cover themselves, right? And so I just had surgery. I can't be put to sleep, so I was basically awake. And so they gave me the pain pills. I have children's dose codeine and Tylenol, kids dose. I think it's like 5.5 milligrams or something. And when you go back for the appointment, they have to do a pill count, right, to make sure you're not overdosing and all of this. And the guy looked at me and he goes, "You had one? You took one? You're prescribed 2 at a time. Supposed to be every 4 hours for at least the first 4 days." And I'm like, I took one and fell asleep for 12 hours. When I woke up, I was fine. But yeah, Georgia's really hardcore on that. They have to count your pills. You have to have a special prescription to go and pick it up. Like it's got some DEA license number on it or whatever. I don't know if it's the same everywhere in the country, but it's very strange.
Yeah, well, there's so much abuse now.
I don't know.
Opioids.
I know, and I sympathize with people who are abused to opioids, but I have no idea how anyone could get addicted to that stuff. I feel like a crack whore. Like when I got put on Tramadol once, and I was itching, I was cold, I was sweaty, I was nauseous, I was just disgusting. Like I felt like I had the plague. I couldn't eat, my stomach was cramping. I was like, how do people get addicted to this? Like, you know, I'm just like in a cold bath trying to cool down my burning, itching skin. It was horrific.
Mm-hmm.
And even codeine.
I mean, and that's a big issue now too, and people moving from pain pills to
heroin.
to yeah, to heroin. And I just wish, like, stop putting people in jail and prison. Let's give people help.
Who is it? Is it the Dutch? Holland, I think, has an undercrowded prison system. They're struggling to find prisoners because their attitude is, if someone has a problem because they're in debt, we send them to financial counseling. If someone has anger issues, we send them to anger management. If someone is addicted, we help them with addiction. The only people that get locked up are those, violent offenders. And they come in for maybe a 5-year rehab and then they're released. And only 5% reoffend. 5%.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We just do it wrong. Like, a life should not be ruined.
What do you think about... We just had the election. What do you think about felons not being able to vote after they've served their time?
Do you want my honest opinion?
Yeah.
I think it's a way to suppress the black voice. That's what I think it was designed for, because, most of the cannabis legalization was made to control the black population and the Mexican population. So those are, when you look at stats, unfortunately, it's not me being racist, those are the people more likely to be arrested. Not because they do crime more often, it's they get caught more often. What that says about racial profiling.
They just get pulled over more often.
They get pulled over more often. And no, I don't think that's right. It's a touchy subject, but I think that felons losing their right to vote, I think it's cruel and unusual punishment. And I think it's a legal way of deliberately minimizing the voice of minorities.
Yeah, I mean, the whole war on drugs, you can just look at all of it and see how it affects minorities compared to whites. It's just a mess. But with the vote, I completely agree. And I mean, just looking at it from just basically, if they've served their time for their crime, shouldn't they be given their rights back? It just doesn't make sense to me either.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm of a very strange opinion, right? So I don't own a gun. I probably wouldn't own one either. But I think even felons who are convicted as felons for a non-violent crime should even be allowed to own a gun. As long as it was a non-violent crime. I think if you killed a bunch of people, then no, as far as I'm concerned, you can rot in jail.
Give that person a gun. They're out now. No.
Give them a gun and lock them in a cell, yeah. But
oh, jeez.
But you know, I think once you've done your time, you've done your time. And it's very hard for felons. The reason we have such this, in my opinion, I'm nothing special, but I think the reason we have this revolving door back into prison is because it's very hard for ex-cons to get jobs. People see that you're a felon, they don't want to hire you, they don't trust you. And so a prison sentence, whether it's 2 years or 20 years, it's a life sentence. Because you're always going to be persecuted against. You've lost your rights. No one gives a shit. The people that are going to rent you accommodation, it's going to be terrible accommodation. The landlords aren't going to care about the state that you live in. They'll evict you whenever. You're going to be bound to the worst contracts and whatever. This country has no support, and that's why at the beginning of the podcast I was saying, you know, we need stronger safety nets in this country. Be it lower class, be it ex-cons, be it the disabled. You know, it's good to see that disabled vets are finally getting their help. But, you know, when I go to these abilities expos, you know, or mobility expos and stuff, I'm sick of seeing disabled civilian people without the equipment they need. I ran into a quadriplegic, which for you watching means paralyzed from the neck down. And he was in a hospital wheelchair. He was covered in bed
That's
sores.
not good.
No, his parents had put pillows under him. They didn't have health insurance. All their money ended up going to the nurse care that their son needed. They couldn't afford the health insurance because they were both on minimum wage jobs. Medicaid didn't cover what he needed. We did get him sorted with a wheelchair, you know, privately funded. But it's so common, you know, the people of disabilities or medical issues are just left behind if they're civilian. And that's not me saying veterans get everything, because they don't. They're not looked after at all. But the safety nets in this country need reinforcing, because there has to be a stronger foundation for people to climb from. Right now, it's just a drain, right? You go down that, you're not getting back up. It needs to be an actual safety net where people can get a grip and climb back up and look after themselves. But right now, it's like if you're below a certain level, you stay the fuck down there and you will not get up, because you know what? We're going to fuck you.
And that's why people are so angry, is it's things like this that just keep people down. You know, that's why this election, Bernie Sanders got a lot of support. Donald Trump got a lot of support because they were so anti-establishment. Now, Donald Trump is a billionaire. So I don't know if I completely get the thinking there, but he still ran on that platform that we need to get these, you know, billionaires out of politics. And people do want that. We're sick of corruption. And I think that's something that really hurt Hillary, who...
She is the establishment. Yeah, she is it.
To people, she is the establishment.
I don't trust her.
That's why Bernie was able to get so much support, and Donald Trump as well. People are sick of it, and we need a lot of reform in this country. Criminal justice, health, whatever it is. Like, we need to, like, look at things and say, okay, is this right? And
my honest
it's just
opinion,
not happening. There's just still corruption.
If you sort out education and healthcare, the rest will fall into place. Because a healthy country is an efficient country. And, like, you know, if you have a medical condition and you're not getting it treated, you're not going to be able to work. You're not going to be able to work very much. You're not going to be able to get a decent paying job, which means you're going to live in a worse situation. You're going to live a more stressed life, which is going to make your medical condition worse. And it's just a revolving door. The minimum wage needs to be increased. Healthcare needs to be just sorted. In my opinion, like, up to the age of 16, healthcare should be on the state. We pay good taxes. Why is 57% of our taxes going to the military? I'm not anti-military by any stretch of the imagination, but why is 57% of our taxes?
It's just too much.
It's way too much. You know, there shouldn't be people just dying because they can't afford chemo, or dying because they can't afford tablets for their blood pressure. And unfortunately, that's happening. We have to look after our own, and we're not. You know, I don't know of anyone who wouldn't pay, you know, an extra 10-15% just to get better healthcare coverage. But, you know, I was looking up health insurance for a friend of mine, healthy white male, you know, whatever, and it was like $600 a month. There are people earning
Yeah.
$1,000 a month, and how are they supposed to pay? I think it's if you're earning over $8,000 a year, you cannot get subsidies, right? So if you're on minimum wage, you're earning what, $12,000 a year. So your health insurance is going to be between $450 and $550 a month, depending on where you are. So that's 60% of your pay before rent, before bills, before putting. Lord knows you're never going to have any pension or retirement fund. Like right now, we're driving our, what the minimum wage jobs were once for college kids and whatever. But now, as manufacturing and everything's moved abroad, minimum wage jobs have become careers.
And you have to think, like, with the insurance going up, and I think there are positives about Obamacare, but something needs to be done about the prices. These people also have, like, college loans they're paying off. There's, like, just a lot of issues right now where people just...
The world is stacked
college
against
kids,
you.
they're living at home way longer
And
with their parents. There's so many different things.
It's very easy to turn around and say, well, they need to just get a better job, get an education. But I think the world's kind of stacked against them. And I don't mean it's because they're not getting handouts, but the government needs to take a whip and beat the shit out of the healthcare industry. We've talked about the cost of medication. The cost of medication being 3 or 4 times that of every other developed country is why the health insurance is so expensive. The insurance companies are assholes. I would like to do very bad things to them, and not in a good, kinky kind of bad things type of way. But also the medication, GlaxoSmithKline and all of that lot, Pfizer and just all those asshats that keep me alive. Please continue making my medication. Thank you very much. But also, fuck you, because my drugs are 4 times more expensive over here than they are anywhere else. The government needs to put a rein on the
and they
profit.
keep raising the prices.
Yeah.
That's been the big topic too. Like like this drug has just been increased by 900%.
Yeah,
like,
one of my
the
drugs
fuck?
just went up from, I want to, what was it? It was like $130, and now it's $864 within a year.
That's crazy.
I have to earn like a shitload of money just to keep myself alive, and I have insurance. Like it's horrible. So Kitty for Dictator 2020.
Oh, I have a question actually. Speaking of dictators, all right, say you're made president and you can do one thing that's just sort of crazy that everyone has to participate in or do whatever. I can answer first if you want sort of an idea of what I'm saying.
Yeah, you answer first.
So the wild thing I would do if I was president is I would want each state to participate in the Hunger Games. Because I just want to... That was my favorite. It was my favorite part of the fucking movies. I stopped watching the movies when the kids weren't killing each other because I don't know, it was really interesting. I wanted to see who was going to survive, what tactics they would use. Like, I mean, it's not that I want, kids fighting each other, but like I would watch. And like I think most people listening to this who are judging me right now, they would probably watch too.
The final 2.
I mean, I really wouldn't.
It would
want
end
that.
up between like Georgia and Texas, right? They would be the last districts, probably.
Maybe there would be a surprise.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know what my one crazy thing would be.
Florida's pretty wild.
My one crazy thing. I don't know. Honestly, it would be like really boring, like overhauling the prison system. I would that would be, and it's not even that wild or crazy, but I think that would be my thing because I think it's just disgusting. I think it's disgraceful how we treat people. I think it's very easy to see a prisoner or a felon and just not view them as human. And when you can call someone inmate or felon rather than just a guy who fucked up, I think that's pretty bad on our part because they're still human.
That's like that would be what I would actually want to do. But yeah, I wanted something more crazy, but yeah.
Yeah, I think prison education. My crazy thing would be dictator for a year. I'd fix this shit. I would
but yeah,
accept
disclaimer. I don't really want a Hunger Games before anyone comes at me. I don't really want that. But I would watch it if it was a thing.
She's lying. She's
no, I
evil.
don't.
She watches Big Brother. Do you watch Big Brother? Just as a side note.
I haven't been recently. I've watched
You
some of
have
them.
watched it? Oh my
Everyone's
God.
talking about it.
Who do you
Everyone's
hang out
talking about
with?
it lately. I want to.
You need new friends, Kelly. Oh, God. Well, I guess that pretty much wraps it up. But we still need a name, guys. I know we've yammered on about it, but you've got to help us out. Our conversations and topic went everywhere, as it always does. It will never be organized. If you're here for a nice formula of a podcast, this is never going to be it.
Yeah, we're just disorganized people. I mean, no, we're both pretty professional when we need to be, but,
don't
you know,
like-
otherwise, no.
We don't like adulting, basically.
Yeah.
So,
We
you
can
know,
force ourselves, but nah.
so I think, you know, podcast name wise, we came up with Much a Chat About Nothing, which is good, but it's really long. Daddy's Little Cum Sluts would work if it was just Kelly doing this, but me not so much.
Oh my God.
Grab 'em by the podcast is great, but not so much now. Trump is
Too
in.
real
It's
now.
a bit too real. Like Nasty Women. That's probably already been taken. Again, a little too real. Now we have Mr. Oompa Loompa elect. President Oompa Loompa elect. Oh, it's such a mouthful, isn't it? On a funny
It
note,
is.
in England, my grandparents and a lot of people around London, Trump was a slang word for a fart, if that makes you cheer up a little bit.
I read that.
It's like, did you just Trump? I did. I just trumped. So for like the
Oh
first
my
few months of the election talk, I was just wetting myself with laughter. Not literally, but you know, that would have been messy. But yeah, so disorganized podcast, lots of rambling babble. We're going to do it every week, right, Kelly?
Yes.
What are we going to do for next week? Because it's
I'm ready.
Rape the Indians Day or something, isn't it? Thanksgiving.
Oh God. Yeah,
So
Thanksgiving.
we might have to record it earlier.
We'll record it earlier. We'll be organized.
And then we'll
be
upload
ahead
it.
of it.
So this will be out on YouTube,
Yes.
Podbean, and whatever the hell we put it out on. There was a little delay with my connection, probably because I live in the middle of buttfuck nowhere. But we hope you enjoyed it. We wasn't too cringeworthy. I think we did all right for our first time kills.
You had them at buttfuck. You had them at buttfuck.
them at the buttfuck. I don't know what that was.
Yeah. We're sorry about the delay, so it might be a little messy with the way we're talking, and so we'll work on trying to solve that issue. But yeah, this was fun,
And if you're
and I look forward to doing it.
And if you're listening to this on the YouTubes and you want us to talk about topics, please feel free to put suggestions in the comments where they will be ignored. I'm kidding. We'll probably read them. Right?
We will read them, and
And
you can also
names.
hit us up on Twitter.
We need a freaking name.
I'll have all the relevant links below for like our Twitters and YouTubes and stuff. But we'll get more organized once we have the name. Then I can give you a link to like the official,
Awesomeness.
podcast
Stuff.
iTunes thing and candies and rainbows and cute bubbly kittens.
Really? Okay. Well, anyway, guys, thanks for joining us. That was awkward ending to episode number 1 of the No Name Podcast. By the way, No Name Podcast already taken. We looked. Have a great one, and we'll talk to you next week. Cool outro
Peace and
music. La 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 la